This is my Singer Touch and Sew 603. I purchased this from an individual. And when I started sewing, as soon as I lowered my needle, the thread would go right through the eye of the needle. And so I was always having to pull out 6 or 7 inches of thread just to get it started. And so I thought maybe my tension was too tight, and the dial was already on 4. So I went from 4 to 0, and there was no change. And so I moved the dial back up, and it would not go beyond 4. And so I thought, well, if I want to keep this machine, I'm going to have to learn to fix the tension assembly myself. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to disassemble and reassemble the tension assembly on a Singer Touch and Sew 603. And all you will need is a small screwdriver. This one came with one of my more recent sewing machines. If you don't have one, you can go. I purchased a set from Walmart. I just don't know where it is. But it was less than $3. But you can go to Ace, any hardware store, and find one. So I'm going to stop the video. When I come back, we are going to disassemble the tension assembly. Okay, now we are ready to disassemble the tension assembly. The first thing you want to do is go ahead and turn your dial until you see the screw. And you will want to go ahead, get your screwdriver, and loosen the screw. And I'm placing my pieces on the paper towel as I go, and I will show you the correct order later. Next, you will want to remove the thumb nut. You just unscrew it. It comes right off the post. This is your thumb nut. Next, remove the stop washer. The beehive spring or tension spring. The spring cup. And I'm going to remove, this is the thread guide, I'm going to remove it as one unit. It's the thread guide plate, your 3 discs, and a check spring. The thread guide plate is what houses your discs. And here are your 3 discs. There are 3 discs. And your check spring is what holds the thread guide plate and your discs together. Now that you have everything removed, we are going to go ahead and reassemble. But what you will want to do first, if it's been a while since you've used your machine, you might want to clean these parts with some alcohol. Just get a cotton ball and clean the parts. And we'll come right back and get ready to reassemble the tension assembly. Okay, now that you have all your pieces cleaned off, we can go ahead and reassemble. And I've included a picture that shows the order. Okay, now we can go ahead and begin. We'll start with the thread guide plate, and we'll put the 3 discs in the thread guide plate, and we'll take the check spring and put it between the thread guide plate. We'll treat it as one unit, and we'll slide it on the post. And I want to mention a couple of things. The thread guide plate has a finger that sticks out. We're going to place it in the hole, and the hole is right under this thread guide. And at the same time, we're going to take that check spring and we're going to lift it up and make sure it goes over a metal piece that's attached to the thread guide. And we'll put that hole in there and make sure the check spring is above this small metal piece. Next, we'll take our spring cup and slide it on the post. We will take our tension spring, or the beehive spring, slide it on the post. Our stop washer, the stop washer has a little finger that protrudes from it, and we want that to be in a 6 o'clock position, not 12 o'clock. I've tried the 12 o'clock position, which was suggested, and it did not work. So I'm going to slide it on the post in the 6 o'clock position. Next is the thumb nut, and we'll just screw this on. Sometimes it might take just a few tries to get it on. And your thumb nut, you want it to be flush with the post. Next, we will put on the dial. And you want the screw to be in the upright position. And when I put it on, I like to turn it so that the screw is like at an 11 o'clock position. It just tightens better. So we just go ahead and tighten the screw. Tighten it to make sure that it doesn't come off. You might have to do it more than once. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and check it out. Let's turn it back to 0, back to 9. And at 9, your disc should be tight. If you loosen it, go back to 0, you can hear those discs move a lot more. So I'm going to turn it up to 4, close to 4. I usually sew with my tension disc between 3 and 4. So now we have our tension assembly reassembled. And the next thing I want to do, I want to make sure that it works. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and thread my machine. And I'm going to hold my right hand on the thread that leads from the spool, and with my left hand I'm going to pull up on the check spring, and you should hear a click. And see how that check spring is moving up and down? That's what you want it to do. Okay, well, this concludes my tutorial. I want to thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, just post them below.